think we should be live. That's a quick audio check. Yep. All right. All sounds good. Okay, I think we should have it. Sometimes just need to make sure I sent the hello. I saw somebody's message pop up in chat. Hello there, Mr. Opium. Sorry, I can't see your name very clearly. It's on hello, T-Pop. Welcome. Good morning, afternoon, evening to all of you, wherever you may be in the world. Welcome back to Aero League Racing. Now let me get this right. Season 18 GR3 Championship Tier 4 Blue Round 4 Round Mount Panorama. No matter how many times I try to do that, it's always there's that imminent awkwardness within myself. Am I gonna say it right? Am I gonna make a mistake? So on and so forth. But nonetheless, let's have a look. Purple Beast looking hungry, says Steve. Is that Morrison? Steve. Yeah, that is Steve Morrison. Yes. So we have Tim Morrison in the chat, and we have Tim Morrison on pole. There you go. The Purple Beast is hungry and very, very hungry indeed for pole. There you see Morrison in P1, followed by Zelda in P2. The Nissan looking pretty, with a nice livery there. I don't think this is a livery we've seen previously. Adam in P3 in the Porsche. Gintonics fourth in the Genesis. Slavman in the Jag is P5, followed by HK in 6th in the other GTR. Moncon in the, I mentioned this as the 2016 Mercedes. I think this is what I should call it. 7th, Tetro is 8th, so the two Jags are pretty closely put together. NTO is 9th, a few positions behind his teammate actually. It's quite a difference between the two Purple Beasts, so let's see how it goes for them. JP is 10th, and outside the top 10 we have Schumacher in 11th, Whaley. I have been meaning to ask them how to pronounce the name for the past 2 weeks or so, but I keep forgetting to do so. I hope I remember to do it before the next race. McLaren 47 in a fantastic car. Definitely no bias because I drive this car. And the Alfa Romeo is in 13th. And Revolut rounds off the grid in P14. It's a 14 driver race. We have 8 laps to go around Mount Panorama. Let's go. 1 light, 2 light, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights ahead of the drivers. And when the lights go out, we go racing. It seems to be a good start for Morrison. Zelda seems to have not got off the line very well. I saw somebody squirming around in the background there. I hope everybody's got it through in one piece. Morrison seems to be in control. Somebody is not in control. It seems to be HK, I think, who has gone straight into the wall there. But everybody else looks to have gotten through without issues. NTO with a good start up from 8th all the way up to P4. And Slavman holds position. So what a start for NTO. I think he's just got his way through the field there, and you can see HK in the background there. I'm not sure what's happened there. Maybe you can have a look. Let's have a look. We'll get back to this in a moment. So HK has actually started very well. A bit squirmy there. I think that's whom I saw. Did he make contact? Oh yeah, somebody did hit him. I think that's Adam who's made contact with. And another driver who had a great start. Look at the launch NTO's got here as we go towards turn 1. There you go, a little bit of hodgy-bodgy there, but gets through this, slices through the pack there, and chooses the right part of the track to place his car. Well done to NTO. But nonetheless, Purple Beast still is on. Hello, Tetrapolis. Nice to see you in the chat. Thank you. I'm glad that you enjoy the stream. And I don't think you're enjoying being in 11th right now in the race, but let's hope it gets better from here on. So we are entering a tricky part of the circuit. This is the middle, we call it the middle sector. I'm used to the F1 terminologies of 3 sectors. GT sometimes has 4. But nonetheless, we see Moncon also having a reasonable start. I think Moncon was, I think he was 8th up to P6, so pretty decent, reasonable start there. NTO seems to be coming under pressure from Slavman. Slavman himself coming under pressure from Moncon. Now we enter the very, very tricky section of track. This is where it's so easy to make mistakes, pick up an unnecessary penalty, clip the wall, so on and so forth. I hope that I'm not giving a bit of a commentary discuss to those racing here right now. Let's see, everybody seems to be getting through without too many issues. JP, okay, we see a move being made here. Moncon trying a move down the inside on Slavman. Slavman has to go a little bit wider there to accommodate the Mercedes, but gets through without issue. If, by the way, if there are any issues with audio, please do let me know. I am still trying to get acclimatized to the headphone that I'm using right now. Re-acclimatized, I must say. So if there are any audio issues, please do let me know. For the back, however, somebody who is causing issues to another car is Schumacher, who is putting Captain Adam under quite a bit of pressure here as we enter the final few corners of the racetrack. And Adam Schumacher's gone a bit wide, McLaren's gone a bit wide there, comes back on track just ahead of HK. Wow, that would have been almost a code brown there for HK as McLaren rejoined. But that seems to be a good start. Schumacher was putting Adam under quite a bit of pressure there, but went off circuit. Now is coming under pressure from Tetrapolis. At the start of lap 2. Is it distorted? Alright, I think this should be better. I hope this is better. Slightly altered the audio mix. I think it was slightly a bit too biased towards game audio. This should be slightly better as we pick up the battle with following Slavman and NTO as they go the hill towards the tricky part of the track. You cannot really go side by side here. They are going to attempt it, but I think Slavman is going to edge out NTO right there. Jin has passed Zelda as well, so that's a good movement up the field by Jin. It's only a little bit. This is better. Thank you, T. Morrison, T. Bob. What should I mention? To call you as? But thank you for letting me know. That's really helpful. I'll remember this for future broadcasts as well. That this is to be my rough audio mix. But what battles you seeing up and down the field here? We see here NTO putting Slavman under a bit of pressure. Zelda, I'm sure, would want to regain the position as well that he's just lost to Jin. We go into this very tricky, twisty section. I'm really liking the cinematic camera here. I think I'm going to stick to the cinematic camera for this most of this race weekend. Zelda trying a slightly alternative line, Jin taking the tighter line, but I think Jin's hit the wall there. Possibly I heard a bit of, is this carbon fiber? I think it's a bit of carbon fiber clanging against the wall. Morrison has disappeared into the distance there almost. Zelda and Jin. Zelda's putting Jin under enormous pressure here as we enter the final part of the circuit here. This is very tricky, the braking zone for this left-hander. If you mess it up, you can really be in a big pickle there. And as I say that, Zelda does exactly that. I think he just clipped a bit of grass there while braking and caused himself a bit of a lock-up, and just it all went downhill from there. Zelda, my word, that is very unfortunate timing there that I just mentioned it and it had to happen to Zelda there. But there you go, Zelda falling down the order from P3 down to P7. That's how quickly fortunes can change in ALR. Adam, so okay, Schumacher got past Adam. We didn't really have a chance to catch that. And here we can see Moncon trying to put JP under pressure. Zelda now trying to get involved in that battle as well. Adam and Schumacher battling it out, and I'm really looking forward to seeing that Purple Beast from Genesis going at it. Let's have a look what's going to happen here. Zelda gets past. Is that? Yeah, that's Moncon. I'm a little bit disoriented here by the different camera angles here. But there you go. Zelda's past Moncon. Adam and Schumacher still battling it out. Zelda now trying to curb his way past those around him. That's JP, NTO and Slavman before he gets back near the Gin Tonics. As Zelda trying to find the space where there really wasn't any. And I think he's clipped the wall there, has he, Zelda? Almost hit the wall. Going to this fast left-hander, it's going to be a little tricky here for Zelda to get past. Yeah, I think he's just going to slot in for now. If you try to make a move here, it can go very wrong and you can have a lot of issues. I think that's JP who's made a mistake and clobbered the wall because Zelda got past without any trouble whatsoever provided to him. JP is now down to P6. Zelda is slowly and steadily making his way back to the field. Could he get back on the rostrum? I think it's a possibility. NTO is in a bit of no man's land here. Slavman's a little too far ahead right now, and Zelda's closing in. NTO's in a bit of no man's land right now. Jin is onto the grass. Slavman is losing the rear end. NTO gets through without issue. There you go. So, drivers making mistakes. I think that's proving to all of us that they're really trying to push to get the best possible result. Morrison takes the fastest lap with a 2:05.470. Jin is quite a long ways back right now. Morrison seems to be well in control. No, we put under absolutely no pressure right now. Jin is coming under pressure from Slavman. NTO is slowly being caught by Zelda, but this is the battle I think we will be following, because this is a four-way battle for P6. Monk on JP, Adam Schumacher, and I think HK is steadily rejoining this pack as well. For the back, Tetrapolis is back in this pack, and for the in P12, 13 and 14, I think we've had some drivers who have not had a very good start to this race. McLaren, Revolut and Willy, I think their efforts will lie focused on the feature race, because the sprint seems to be a little too far gone, but never say never, anything's possible. HK getting a little bit out of shape, Tetrapolis putting him under a bit of pressure here, but I think HK will hold position for now. Schumacher and Adams still battling it out, and I think HK wants to get two cars in one go. Are we going to see the Nissan get past the Mercedes and the Porsche possibly before the start of lap 5? It's possible. HK trying to find some space down the inside, outside. Nope, Schumacher covers him off. HK will have to hang back for now. Schumacher, I think he's just gonna hold the P9 for now. There's a bit of contact there. I think HK has got a bit caught out, but they all hold position. Adam and Schumacher, no, that's Adam and, sorry, my bad, Adam and JP battling it out. And what's going on here? Up front, did I see a move? Indeed I did. Jin and Slavman traded positions. It's now Jin down to P3, Slavman up into P2. Slavman's on a charge, although Morrison's a little too far ahead right now to be caught. Let's see if Slavman can bridge that gap before the end of the last lap, or whether he'll just settle into P2 for now. And yep, Zelda, I did mention at the start, the last lap was already looking pretty fast, looking very keen to catch up to and get back onto the rostrum. He seems to be doing that pretty well. He's already on the back of NTO. Let's see if he can make a move going into the next few corners before we get the tricky, twisty section of the circuit. Jin has lost the position, but he's not about to lose hope right now. He is still putting Slavman under quite a bit of pressure here. So is Zelda. That's a nice camera angle from the game. And let's see, Zelda is putting NTO under quite a bit of pressure here. Morrison will be, I think, wanting his teammate to hold off a charging GTR of Zelda. Let's see how well NTO can do that. Somebody further back has a penalty. That's Moncon, who has got a 1 second time penalty added to their name. JP, Adam, Schumacher, the battle carries on for P7 and so on. But this is the battle. We are looking at somebody charging back up the field after having made a pretty costly mistake there earlier on in the race. A little bit of contact there between the Purple Beast and the GTR. Let's have a look if, or rather which one of them is going to get the best exit as we go on the run towards the chicane. Turns out it's going to be Moncon. Wow. Bit of contact between NTO and Zelda has resulted in Moncon getting the advantage here. However, obviously Moncon has the penalty. That is not going to help him out in the slightest. Zelda gets back fast, but I don't think NTO will be particularly happy with that. As you can see, NTO has a bit of damage. Going into the chicane here, up front, nothing happening there. Let's have a look if Zelda's going to get an advantage here, thanks to NTO's damage, and Zelda gets a bit out of shape there. Moncon, despite the penalty, seems to be in control, but look at this little battle here. JP and Tetrapolis, I think, has gone from, what was it, P11 up to P8, which could possibly become P7 as well. They keep trading positions, all of them. A little bit of contact with Schumacher will not offset his momentum too much there. Tetrapolis holds on to P8, but look, he is being attacked from the left and the right. Let's see where he's gonna end up. He is gonna end up in P10. Is it P9? They swap positions all the time here. Let's see. HK, wow, this is a fantastic battle. I'm making a lot of wrong calls here with how close the battle seems to be going. Tetro and Adam battling it out. I think Tetro has the advantage as we go towards the braking zone. There you go. Tetro will have P8 for the time being at least, and Adam will have to settle for P9. Up front, let's have a look. Zelda still not able to find a way past NTO. Jin still putting Slavman under a bit of pressure, quite a bit of pressure here. But somebody we've not spoken about in a while is Morrison. Because look, these people are just about to enter the twisty section. I think Morrison is about to reach the end of it. There you go. That's just the advantage that Morrison's built up right now. He's in a league of his own right now. Slavman being put under quite a bit of pressure there. NTO being put under quite a bit of pressure here. Let's have a look. Last time around it went a bit dicey at the end of this twisty section. Are we going to see some more contact this time around? No. I think this time around they were well aware of the consequences of making contact. NTO still ahead, but Zelda is putting him under enormous pressure. Monkon is also getting into the mix here. Possible P4 might be on his hands, might be on the table for him. If these two ahead of him keep battling the way they are. Zelda and NTO, let's see what Zelda decides to do. This is where it went wrong for him a few laps ago. This time around, Zelda will not be able to find a way past. And did both of them go off the circuit there? My word. I need to have a look at that from Monkon's point of view. So, let's have a look. So they're just approaching the braking zone. And Monkon can see this. I think they made a little bit of contact. NTO missed the braking. So did Zelda, I think, was first off. Monkon just, I think, got a bit distracted there by that. And the Purple Beast bouncing back onto the circuit. Monkon slamming the wall there, picking up a lot of damage and rejoins. Wow, I think that's going to be a bit scary for some of those on the track. NTO falls to P5, Zelda falls to P4, but so much. It was a calamitous end to lap 6 for them. We start lap 7, Zelda in P4. Jin still hassling Slavman here. Jin is putting Slavman under so much pressure. The Genesis with its superior straight line speed, Slavman will try to send it down the inside. Will he? No. Jin has made the move around the outside. What a fantastic move there by the German Genesis driver. Well done. I hope. I think he would hope to stay there, Jin. I think he was P2. He was overtaken by Slavman. So Jin will want to keep hold of this P2. Zelda. Well, don't count out Zelda yet. He showed some stellar pace. You could still see Zelda onto the podium there. That's a nice advertisement in the background. I don't think I've ever noticed that previously. Tetropolis is in a very good position here. I think he's gone from, don't take my word for it, but I think he was like P10 or something. He's up to P6 and he is leading this rather closely packed bunch. Which consists of Captain Adam, JP, Schumacher and HK. I think is a little too far back. Right? Yeah. Monkon after that little incident is now behind HK. Let's see if we can get into the top 10. P10 is the desired position obviously to finish in the sprint if you are having a bit of a difficult race, because that's going to give you pole for the feature. Rather, it's going to give you P1 for the feature. And this is something we're going to follow as we are entering the final part of the race. Adam and Tetropolis are going to battle it out for P6. It seems like Adam has the edge for now. Tetro will, I think, just want to bide his time and possibly set up a move into, what do I say, turn 2? Is turn 2 the right corner to say? It's the one after the long run that we have after turn 1. Well, let's see what Tetro decides to do as we start the final lap of this sprint race. Zelda has the fastest lap and I don't think he's going to be able to catch up to Slavman, because the two of them have also shown pretty good pace despite battling it out for quite a good chunk of the race, Jin and Slavman. Morrison in P1 is just having a nice time, no worries, just having a chill time. Zelda's gonna try his best, I'm sure, to try and get into the podium places. What about Adam and Tetrapolis? I think we can follow this battle here. It's the battle for P6. NT is not too far ahead either, so anything's possible. Tetra will be trying his best. Adam in the Porsche, I think his tires are in slightly better nick here. But Tetra seems to be a man on a mission right now. Tetra is coming through the field. Let's see, going for this fast left-hander. There's a double left per se, but it's a very fast section of track. It's very easy to go on the grass there, possibly onto the gravel. I think I made that mistake maybe twice in my race. NTO seems to be struggling a little bit here. Adam seems to be wanting to find a way past. Adam does find a way past, and he's ahead of the Purple Beast. Tetro will be getting very eager to try and get past the Mercedes here. Somebody further back has a penalty. I think that is JP. Ooh, that'll be problematic for JP. Schumacher might be able to get past. But what about NTO? Can NTO regain the position on this final run up to the line? I think we're going to give Morrison's crossed the line there. I was going to say we're going to give him a little bit of airtime, but I think we're going to follow this battle with his teammate, NTO, who does get past Captain Adam and is back up into P5 with a move at the final chicane there. Well done, NTO. And don't count out Tetrapolis yet either. There's a bit of wheel banging there. And into the last corner we go. Who's going to get the best exit out of the corner here? I think it's going to be Adam, who will hold on to P6. That was a nice battle to follow. And there you go. Schumacher did get past JP there, thanks to JP's penalty. HK in P10 won't be very happy with how the sprint has gone, but will be happy that he's got P1 for the feature. Whaley in 11th, Revolut in 12th, and Moncon and McLovin are gonna round off the finishers. And there you go. Indeed, a very close finish, Tetrapolis. Very, very close finish. Well driven by you. That was a fun watch on the last lap, and McLovin will round off the grid. But what a drive by Morrison there. A dominant victory. Jin taking back P2 with a fantastic move around the outside. And there you go. We now move on to the feature. And I think I have to thank NTO for uploading the replay here. Yeah, there you go. NTO, thank you very much. This is the feature race, which we are going to watch right now. So, obviously, reverse grid for the top 10. Reverse order, sorry, for the top 10. It's not a grid start. We are going to have HK on pole. I'm going to very quickly start the stream. There you go. So, having finished 10th in the sprint, HK is in P1, sorry. And it's time for the tire display, and HK is on the mediums, so is JP in the Genesis. Schumacher is on the softs. Okay, I wasn't expecting to see many people on softs, given that some cars tend to handle softs well around here. Tetro in P4 in the Jag, and I think it is Tetro who said that it was a good week for the team Jag. Indeed, I would expect so. It's a pretty fast bunch. There you go. That's a nice bumper sticker there. I can't do the Jeremy Clarkson impersonation there. The way he says it, that's a very perfect way to go for it. But nonetheless, let's carry on. Behind the Jag is Captain Adam. In P5 also on the mediums, NTO has opted for the hard tire. Alright, interesting. So has Zelda. Slavman has gone for the medium as well. I think much like Steve Mate has. Jin is on the hards, and T. Morrison, who won the sprint in dominant fashion, is on the mediums. So split strategies for the top two in the sprint. Let's see how it pays off for them. Whaley is on the mediums, so is Revolut in the McLaren. Moncon in 13th is on the softs, and McLaren is also on the softs. So 3 drivers on the softs. I believe it is 2 drivers on the hards. No, 3 drivers on the hards, and the rest of the field is on the mediums. So before we start the race, I'm just gonna take a moment to drink a bit of water here. So please, just a moment. Stay hydrated. Well, I don't think we have to wait for anything. Let's go. HK will lead the way. HK's sprint got off to a pretty disastrous start at turn 1. Let's see how it goes for him on lap 1 of the feature. The light is coming on the screen for the drivers and we could hear it. It's lights out and they're off. HK leads the pack. Schumacher seems to be a little feisty here behind JP. I think HK has gotten through without any issues. Schumacher's got a better exit, I think, comparative to JP, but Tetropolis, I think, has got the best exit out of the lot. He is getting into the slipstream there of the Mercedes. Let's see if he's going to attempt to move into the braking zone. Inside or outside, I think it's going to be inside. But will Schumacher be able to hang on? I think Schumacher will hang on. For now, HK being put under quite a bit of pressure by JP. Obviously, Schumacher on the softs will want to make the moves very quickly and get into some clear air. And there's a bit of contact there between HK and JP. And that allows Schumacher and Tetropolis to get through. So that is not a very ideal scenario for JP there. Losing 2 positions in one go. Schumacher is now in P2, needs to make the moves very quick. He's on the softs and he needs to chase down and get past HK. Further back, let's have a look at the rest of the pack. NTO, I think, is just holding position for now. Once again, Zelda is chasing after NTO. I hope for their sake they don't make contact again. NTO was passed. In the final laps of the sprint, oh my word, that's a very aggressive bit of contact there. As NTO is in the wall, had a bit of airborne contact there. I think just clipped the grass and then was hit by Zelda. Oh my word. That is not the way you want your race start to go. So this twisty section just does not seem to agree with NTO whatsoever there. That is so unfortunate for him. Zelda now down to P10. I think it's really benefited Morrison and Jin. There you go. I think they're very sneakily silent. No need to get involved in any contact or so on. Just very silently and sneakily getting up into P6 and P7. They were 9th and 10th, so that's a pretty good start for them, I would say. And wow, there's chaos going on here. HK's gone off the circuit there, leading. Otherwise, he opted to stay on the grass there. So let's have a look what's happened here. So we can see here from Tetropolis is on board. HK, I think, completely missed his braking point. Schumacher carried on. HK is the only one. I thought it's JP as well who went off circuit, and Adam is passed. So, wow. Thank you, Tier 4 Blue. This is some of the best and most chaotic racing I've seen in quite a while. It's really fun to watch. Schumacher is now in the lead. It's exactly where he would want to be. A clear track on fresh softs is the ideal scenario for him. All he needs to do now is build a gap to Tetropolis. Adam in P3. It's been a hectic lap for HK. Falls down to P7. I think he's about to be overtaken by Whaley as well. Whaley looking to get past the GTR, as those are some nice camera angles by the game there. Into the braking zone we go. Who is going to be attempting a move? Whaley clips the grass there, loses the position to Moncon. And HK squirming there. No grip, it seems, on those medium tires. I think HK is just not very confident with the car here. It is a very tricky circuit after all. Whaley and Zelda. Oh, Zelda it seems to be just having to fight his way up the pack here tonight. So, interesting. Let's see how Zelda gets on with the rest of the race. He's on the hards. So it's not the ideal scenario for him to be stuck in the middle of the pack, being on the hard tires. So let's see how it goes for him. Oh, that was HK onto the grass there. And up front, Morrison and Jin battling it out. I think that was Moncon who clipped the barrier and went over the curbing. I think that will give him a penalty. There you go. Moncon has a 2-second penalty as a result of having cut the corner there. Morrison goes a little bit wide there in his pursuit of Jin. Jin on the hards, obviously. Morrison on the mediums will have a little bit more grip right now at this stage of the race. He's got a good exit there. Let's see what he can do. Will he be able to get past the Genesis as we go towards the final chicane? They are going to go side by side. That is some stellar racing there. Great to see two cars go side by side at any stage in the race. It's Morrison who will get past. Jin is slightly onto the grass there. But I think they both get through that corner without too many troubles. HK stays. He holds on to P7. Whaley and Zelda battling it out. Sorry for that. Whaley loses the position to Zelda, and Zelda clipping the grass there loses the position to Whaley, and Whaley tries to find some space and get past Zelda, but Zelda covers him off there. And Whaley will have to hold on to P10 for now. McLovin is not too far behind, so the Alpha, one of the few cars on the softs, gone also on the softs, so the two, well, how do I say, blue Mercedes have opted for the soft tires along with McLovin, so they need to make their moves very quickly in order to make the most of this strategy. Well, let's see how the race goes for them. Zelda and Whaley battling it out. It is only lap 3. We've had quite a bit of chaos here. Morrison saying it was a bit of a mixed bag. Yep, I can see its strategy is very interesting to watch here. I'm very keen to see what you'd end up doing actually, because I think medium to hard, or is it a medium to soft? I'm very keen to see how the strategy unfolds for you guys. Schumacher leads the way. He has the fastest lap as well, 207.2. I think, however, it was Zelda who had the fastest lap in the sprint with a 204. So these guys are going to be put under quite a bit of pressure because Morrison, Zelda, Jin seem to be really in form tonight. However, as I say that, Jin is coming under pressure from HK. This is the corner where HK's race went awry a few laps ago. I hope for his sake he can get through it without any issues, but I think he's a little too far back to make the move on Jin. On this occasion, going through the chicane, Jin will go into the grass once again. I think the braking is a little bit of an issue there for Jin at that corner. Loses the position to HK, and Jin will have to settle down to P7 for the time being. Let's see, from what I've heard, the battle between Morrison and Jin in the final few laps of this race is going to be pretty interesting to watch. I'm very much looking forward to that. Adam battling with Tetrapolis. So, despite being on the soft, he's not really been able to break away from the rest of the field. Schumacher, he's maybe a second and a half ahead of Tetro, but I think for the most part they're still able to keep him, putting him under quite a bit of pressure here. Adam got a slightly better exit than Tetrapolis did. Porsche versus Jaguar. I think the Jag will hold on to P2 for the time being. Adam will stay in P3. JP, I think just trying to, by this time, make the most of the position he's in right now, because Morrison is coming very quick. Morrison is already, I think he can see Schumacher in the distance as well, so he knows that's his target, that's what he needs to aim for. It's P1 what he's going to go for. HK has been able to stay ahead of Jin for now. Whaley and Moncon P8 and 9. Whaley has damage! Moncon almost hit the wall there from what I could see in the background. Let's see how Whaley is able to cope with the, I think his front left damage, or he's been able to get it fixed in time. Zelda's not had a very fun start to the feature, I think, let's put it like that. Not a very good analogy, but Zelda will not be pleased whatsoever with the way the races have gone here. It just seems to be getting stuck in the wrong place at the wrong time. Revolut, okay, this is a battle between Slavman and McLovin. McLovin trying to make a move for P12. Jag versus Alpha. I think the Alpha will have to hold on to 13th for now. And NTO, I haven't spoken about NTO in a while. Something's obviously gone very wrong for NTO to be down in 14th. A long way adrift of the rest of the field. I think NTO was battling for, what was it, P6, P7 earlier on in the race. So that is a very unfortunate way for his race to unfold. I'm not sure what's happened there. Let's just carry on here. Let's see. Let's have a look here. Yeah, I was just trying to figure out what's happened here. So Jin got past HK. We have a yellow flag, yeah, I was wondering why the position seemed to be slightly helter-skelter. I think HK made another mistake there, just at the final chicane. And JP has gone into the wall there. Was there contact with Adam or Morrison or so on? Oh, there was contact between Morrison and JP. And that's JP into the wall and yellow flag. So Jin made the move just in time before the yellow flag came out. Jin will be thanking his lucky stars, I think, given how close he was to not being able to make the move there thanks to the yellow flag. JP falls to P8, Whaley into P7, HK P6. Now Morrison is in P3, although I do remember a bit of commotion in the channel there, in the text channel. I think it was, I can't really remember who it was between, but I'm assuming it was for this contact between Morrison and JP. JP obviously won't be happy with that. He's down in P8, battling it out with the likes of Moncon and Whaley. And there you go, Morrison in the chat. And unfortunately, that's just how it goes. But that's racing. Sometimes racing can get a bit out of hand there. Contact happens. It is a very intensive sport after all. So it's just, we shall carry on. Let's see what happens here between the likes of Adam and Morrison possibly. What about Tetrapolis and Schumacher? Schumacher's tires will, I think, come to the end of their usable life by the end of the, I want to say next 2 laps. However, I'm not really aware of how the tire wear situation is on this particular Mercedes. It's the blue Mercedes. Tetrapolis trying to find a way past, putting Schumacher under increasing pressure. Going into the chicane here, nobody takes to the grass. As I say that, I will be keeping an eye out for HK, who is, I think, just not enjoying the this particular braking zone in the Nissan. And there you go, he does not enjoy this whatsoever, does he? Very, very unfortunate for him there. Once again, trip over the grass, but a fantastic battle going on for the back. Whaley and JP. JP trying to find his way back up the field and getting back into a possible. Oh, what's happened there? I think that's HK who's lost the rear end of the car there. Let's have a look. Going through the last corner, I think he's spun all on his own there. It has HK. Yep, he's got damage. He's damaged tires as well a little bit, and falls down the order. HK's weekend has not been one that he will want to remember. That is very unfortunate. NTO, he's going very slow. Did he have a penalty? Possibly. Or was there? No, he just seemed to be slowing down. I think there was a bit of contact there. You see Moncon has a lot of damage there. I think we can have a look what's happened here. Oh, so while we were focusing on those up front, yeah, Moncon. So this is the end of the previous lap here. Moncon exited the corner and is sideways. Drivers are having to avoid him. Having to go helter-skelter. Wow, that Alpha had to just got through in the nick of time. And NTO, what's going to happen here? Is NTO going to crash into Moncon? Possibly. Seems to be quite a bit of chaos here. Oh, he did hit Moncon, and so there is a lot of chaos up and down the field. There is drama everywhere that you can see. And we are gonna unfortunately rewatch this once again from HK's perspective. Exiting the corner, makes a mistake that lets JP up into P6. Whaley in P7, but they are still gonna continue their battle. Indeed, that was chaos. It was just fun to watch. JP is almost forced off there by Whaley, who moves up into P6, JP in P7, and Zelda still trying to find a way past those around him. Zelda's just been stuck in a lot of traffic this weekend. Whaley and JP battling it out, and JP did get past Whaley. The camera angle didn't really let me see how that happened, but I think he made a move down the inside. Gets back up into P6. Whaley goes a little bit wider there, but I think he's gonna hold the position. I think that's the some drivers have gone a little bit wider there. I think that's what made me wrongly call that. Revolut, I've not mentioned Revolut a whole lot this weekend. Revolut in P9, bit of a quiet race for him. Slavman in P10. So the soft runners, that would be McLovin, Moncon, and obviously Schumacher, who is still leading the race. I'm assuming they're going to come into the pits sometime around now. I think Schumacher will want to just fight off Tetropolis as much as he can. Tetro has been putting him under so much pressure here. The number 515 versus the number 110. What's it going to be? Schumacher versus Tetropolis. As we go towards the chicane, this has been the scene of so much chaos over the course of the whole weekend. Schumacher will, yeah, there you go, it was inevitable, just clip the grass on entry there and almost takes out the, not the fellow Mercedes, I think it's nice. It is the fellow Mercedes. Tetro moves into the lead, Morrison is now P2, Schumacher has opted to stay out one more lap. So, interesting. Let's see how his strategy unfolds from here on. Lap 7 has begun for our race leader, Tetropolis, but he's coming under a lot of pressure from Team Morrison. Captain Adam in P3 is just, I think, played it very smartly, just wanting to place his car in the right part of the track, just wanting to avoid chaos by the looks of it, because he seems to be in a good position. He's in P3. Jin is a little too far back, which makes it all the more interesting to see what the strategies are going to be like Morrison and Jin. So the two Genesis are running information Genesis cars, P5 and P6. The field is a bit spread out right now. Revolut into P8. So I think somebody's pit. Yeah, no, that's McLovin who's in the pit lane. And I think HK might have had another excursion off track there. McLovin exits onto the hards. So that is going to be, I think, McLovin's one and only pit stop of the race. HK still has a ways to go. And nobody else has really pitted here. I think the other soft runners will pit anytime now. And Morrison got past Tetropolis here. I have missed that. So let's have a look how Morrison managed to get the move done. He got past at a very fast part of the circuit here. It's very easy to make a mistake there and force yourself and the other driver off the circuit there. But Morrison got the move done very cleanly, and fair play to Tetropolis as well. Kept it respectful between himself and Morrison. Tetro falls to P2, but all is not over yet. He's been showing some good pace. Morrison has been showing exceptional pace, however. So I think Tetro is within earshot of a podium here. So is Adam. Schumacher, his front left is almost done for here, so I think he will be definitely boxing this lap. If he doesn't, I'm going to be very surprised. Those in front, I think they're going to go to, I want to say lap 13, if they can drag it on that long. Tetro is still in the mix here. He's not let Morrison disappear into the distance already, although Morrison has already got a decent gap. As we start lap 8 of the race, Morrison's just about to do so. It seems to be the natural order of things has been restored. Morrison is in the lead. Jin is in a good position here. He's in P4 thanks to Schumacher's pit stop. I think Schumacher will be going on to the hards, possibly. I think that's going to be the case here. Wow. And we pick up the battle here between Zelda and JP. Was there some contact there between the pair of them? Let's have a look here. Into the last corner we go. Or did JP just have a bit of a moment there? Yeah, I think that was a bit of a moment there for JP. Wow. Scraping the barrier. A few sparks flying. Thankfully, no cars went airborne there. JP loses the position to Zelda. JP is now in P6. Zelda in P5. However, everybody has to make their pit stop. Schumacher exits on the it's on the mediums. Will the Mercedes be able to get to the end on the mediums? 12 lap, 13 lap actually from this lap as well. Well, let's see. Only time will tell whether Schumacher's strategy will pay off or not. I would have expected he would possibly go into the hards and try to push the tires a little bit order there, but let's see how it pans out for him. Well, there's a bit of a gap here between most of the cars. Morrison is once again comfortably breaking away from P2. Tetropolis, I think, will just settle into a bit of a rhythm here, maintain a good consistent lap time and so on. I think Adam will do something similar. Jin, let's see how Jin's race gets on. I'm eager to see how he can get up the field. Zelda now finally, after 8 laps I think of close racing, finally has some clear air to himself. So I think now he can really demonstrate his true pace, his true potential here. JP, I think will just also want to settle into a bit of a rhythm here. Slavman, Schumacher's pitted. Let's see how his strategy pays off for him. Slavman also in a bit of a quiet race. So, well, after so much chaos, TFO has given us a bit of a breather here. So, I think this is the time where we can look at the different strategies. So, NTO and Moncon's race, I think, has just fallen away here. Obviously, we can see here Moncon has pitted. He's on fresh, brand new medium tires. NTO is still on the hards. He started the race on. McLaren's pitted. It is getting very gloomy. It's getting very cloudy, I should say. It's not very gloomy. Okay, I saw somebody off the circuit there. Was that? No, that was not HK. So we have a few people in the pit lane. Zelda is in the pit lane, even on the hards. Okay, interesting from Zelda. I think he expects the mediums to go the rest of the race distance. Interesting. I think that's a instinctive call there by Zelda, because there's no reason for him to have done 9 laps on the mediums and 11 laps on the and rather 9 laps on the hards and 11 laps on the mediums. That is not the way I think he would have wanted it to go. I think he's just trying to spice up his strategy and see what he can do. Just trying something a little bit different there, I think, Zelda. Really, Revolut is not quite a bit behind Whaley, so I think just trying to settle into a bit of a rhythm here. Schumacher is catching up to Slavman, but he's not able to really challenge him on this lap. Adam and Tetropolis, alright. I was just searching for battles. I was getting a little bit desperate there, trying to see which pair of drivers or trio of drivers would be battling it out. When are we going to see these guys pit? Alright, Morrison into the pit lane. Tetro and Adam carry on. Will Jin pit? He's on the hards. I would expect not. I think he will stay out a little bit longer. Nope, Jin is pitting. And especially, I wanted to also mention with how Zelda's tire wear was looking like, I think he would have gone a little. I would have expected him to go a little bit deeper into the race, maybe pit around lap 14 or so for the softs, just blitz it till the end of the race. But different strategies, obviously. Morrison, I'm sure he's gonna go from the mediums to the, I want to say, hards. Jin will have the luxury of going on to the mediums. Schumacher is now past the pair of them. Morrison will exit, but I think he will be just ahead of Schumacher. The two Mercedes cars are going to battle it out as we go, well, up and down the hill, because there's a very undulating series of, there's a very undulating straight, I should say. Schumacher gets past. He is on slightly older but warmed up tires. Morrison's tires will be a little bit cold. He is on the hards. What about Jin? Jin is, no doubt, he's on the mediums. There you go. Revolut, I'm sure, will be boxing soon, possibly onto the hards, just to bring the car home till the end of the race. Well, now I think is where we're going to see that battle between Jin and Morrison. Schumacher's in a good position here. Let's see how his tire wear supports him till the end of the race. Slav, Adam and Tetro. I think this trio is going to box soon. Adam and Tetropolis still going at it. Are we going to see a move by Adam? It would have to be a very aggressive move into the final chicane of the race. The how would I say, the cloudy skies have disappeared, and Adam's move on Tetropolis seems to have appeared out of nowhere. That seemed like he was a little too far back to me, but obviously he was close enough to attempt to move, and they will carry on for at least one more lap. Tetropolis and Adam are going to stay out. I think they're opting for the softs, and that's Adam onto the grass there. In his pursuit of lap time, Adam's taken to the grass. Slavman taking the chicane. He is a fair ways behind the leading duo, but I think he may also opt to stay out. There you go. Schumacher is coming under so much pressure from Morrison here. This is for the net lead of the race. Mind you, all those ahead have to pit. Jin is in a reasonable position here. Morrison on the hards. Let's see how he fares against Schumacher on the mediums. And oh my word, Morrison almost drawing the curtains on his race there with that little snap, but he was able to keep it under control. So good car control from him. I don't think he'll be very happy having made that small mistake. He's lost a bit of lap time there, and he's allowed Jin to close in slightly. Schumacher to pull away a little bit slightly. Slavman, I think these three want to go on to the softs. Adams made a bit of a mistake there. I think it's because the gap has really increased between Adam and Tetropolis here over the opening sector or so of this track. Adam seems to be struggling a little bit more than he would like at this stage. He's on really old tires as well. And let's see how Morrison fares. I think Morrison's struggling a little bit with grip here. The hards are not offering the pushes on the asphalt that he would like. Morrison in the purple beast, Schumacher in the, I don't know, do they call it the blue beast, or do they just like to be referred to as the Mercedes? I think the Mercedes is the term for now. Well, whatever it is, Schumacher, I think that's what I'm going to stick with, is putting Slavman under a fair bit of pressure here. What about these two, Tetro and Adam? Stay out. They will probably go till about lap 13 or so on this medium. They have the tire life to do so. Tetro is actually showing some very good pace here. I think he will be pretty likely to be able to challenge for the podium. Slavman coming under a lot of pressure from Schumacher, who is trying to send it down the inside. There is no room there for Schumacher to get past. I think Schumacher he's got a better exit, but Slavman, I think he just has a straight line speed advantage for the time being. What about Morrison and Jin? Jin's a little too far back. Revolit's still not pitted. So I think most want to opt for the medium to soft. Let's see, Slavman gets a little bit out of shape there. Schumacher gets massively out of shape, hits the wall, and he's let Morrison by. Oh my word, Schumacher. Had he been a little bit more patient there with the throttle, he would have been able to, I think, get past Slavman on the run up to the chicane, final chicane. Unfortunately, now he has a very, very quick T. Morrison ahead of him. As I say that, however, Morrison has been struggling on this hard set, so all is not over yet. Schumacher, he has a bit of damage there, which has obviously been repaired. There you go. Morrison now sets after Slavman. Slavman being put under so much pressure there. I want to see what Tetro and Adam decide to do when they decide to box. Slavman will carry on. He will stay ahead of Morrison for the time being. Up front, however, let's see. Adam's running out of fuel. Tetro has managed his fuel well and carries on for one more lap at the very least. I've said that way too many times already. Adam might box. Nope, Adam's not gonna box. I think they're listening to what I'm saying here. They're purposely not boxing when I'm assuming they would. They are going against what I say. Slavman, he's been put under so much pressure by Schumacher and by Morrison, but he will also stay out. When do these guys decide to box? Because I think despite their decent pace on the old mediums, they are still losing time on the whole to the likes of Morrison, Schumacher, Jin, Zelda as well. Zelda's pitted, I think it was on lap 9, so I think Zelda could also pose a bit of a threat here. He is posing a threat presently to Revo Elite. He gets past. It is a lucky start to lap 13 for Zelda. Moves up into P7. Revo Elite struggling. Oh no, old tires, I think you would expect that. It's lap 13. Let's see how it goes for those up front. Morrison also struggling, so that particular corner seems to be catching out the Mercedes cars. The Purple Beast and the, what do I say, Blue Beast as well. Slavman, he's not buckling under the pressure. He is still able to stay ahead of these very quick guys on fresh tires. Let's see if Slavman will finally be passed by Morrison. This twisty section, we've seen so many mistakes in the sprint and over the opening few laps of the feature as well. Morrison, there's a bit of contact there. Slavman will not be happy, but Morrison did lift off to avoid getting past the Jag there. What do these two do? Tetro will carry on. Adam cannot carry on. He has no fuel, and he will box. There you go. For once I get a call right. Strategy call. Adam into the box. Slavman, yes, his defense has been very, very valiant against all those around him, but I think he will also have to come into the pits. He has no fuel left. Adam, I'm sure he's gone so deep into the race such that he could go on to the softs. Similar goes for Slavman, same goes for Tetrapolis. Tetro's obviously carried on for one more lap. I think his bid to stay out this long. But he's shown some good pace as well. I think Tetro could still be. I think he'll come out around where Zelda is, possibly. Where is Zelda, speaking of? So Adam, Slavman have to take on some fuel. I think it'll be a close battle between Adam and Zelda as he exits the pits. But no, it's actually Adam who's ahead, so I will change my prediction there. I think Tetro will come out behind Jin there, ahead of Adam. So he just needs to make sure to not make a mistake here on his in-lap. I think it makes sense for him to pit right now. His front right is in a dire situation right now. Morrison and Schumacher, what a battle we are seeing here. I missed a bit of it, I think, given how close they were. Schumacher putting Morrison under so much pressure. Schumacher obviously... Oh, I didn't notice that until right now. Schumacher is running on low fuel. Schumacher will have to pit. I think he wants to go for the softs. I didn't notice it at first that he's taken on less fuel, or rather he's not taken on fuel to get to the end of the race. Was that a wise decision by Schumacher? Because I think the time that's lost in the pit lane, I don't necessarily think he'll be able to gain it back on the track, Will Schumacher. Tetropolis is finally coming into the pit lane. He's done 15 laps on this medium tire, and he has a great chance of just possibly even battling the likes of Morrison, Schumacher and so on. My expectations were a little bit different there in terms of what he could do, but Tetro has actually driven a very, very good race. His strategy has been very commendable. Let's see how the rest of his race goes. He will refuel his car, and that's Schumacher into the pit lane. I don't necessarily think it was the best call for Schumacher to not take on all the fuel that he needed to. Adam will get into P4, and where Tetropolis has emerged in P2. I did not do that at all. Tetro is between Morrison and Jin. That is, I think, the best possible strategy that we've seen tonight. Jag seems to be going very, very well in the hands of Tetropolis. And Morrison was very, very quick. but he's been struggling a lot on this hard compound. I don't necessarily think that Morrison is comfortably going to be able to hold off Tetrapolis here. In fact, I think it's, given the tire compound difference here, Morrison is on an old hard, Tetro is on a fresh, brand new soft, Jin is on a medium. I think Tetrapolis could take the race. I think within the next, maybe by lap 17 or so, we could see the Jag move ahead of the Purple Beast. For the back, let's have a look. Zelda is chasing after Adam. Adam, at one point, I was expecting him to be a contender for the podium. I think for now, he will be wanting to just hold off Zelda's charge. Zelda has pitted quite early. Adam's on a soft tire, Zelda's on the mediums. But I think Zelda does just... he has the confidence in the car, because from what we've seen across the sprint and the feature, he's just been in the wrong place at the wrong time. He's had to deal with a lot of traffic. As we go towards the chicane, Zelda's too far back to make a move here. Up front though, I think Jin's made a small mistake there. Morrison can see Tetrapolis in his rear view mirror, and I think he's made a bit of a mistake there, has he, at the last corner, Morrison, because Tetro's very, very close. Zelda has the fastest lap, but will Tetro be able to steal that from him? Morrison's not got the best exit out of turn 1. That is going to open up the door and give an opportunity for Tetrapolis to strike. The two Brits in the Jag and the Purple Beast Mercedes, they're going to battle it out side by side, and I think it is going to be Tetrapolis who will get ahead of Morrison. There you go. The Jag is in P1. It's been a stellar strategy for Tetro, and yes, indeed, I can see that, because the dominance you showed in the sprint there, Morrison, that's just, you seem to be struggling so much, and there you go, clipping the wall and picking up damage. Wow. I think that just shows the hards are just not the right tire for the track, and there was a bit of gravel being kicked up there by Morrison, and I think this is the what we've been promised, the battle between Jin and T. Morrison 94. The German in the Genesis versus the Brit in the Purple Beast Mercedes. Tetro is disappearing into the distance already by the looks of it. He's pretty confident, I think, with his strategy, with his car, and in his abilities as well. That is the best combination that any driver wants. Adam, well, I was expecting that Zelda would be able to put Adam under a bit of pressure, but Adam's actually keeping Zelda at bay. I think the gap has stayed the same over the past lap and this one, so Adam's able to keep Zelda at bay. Zelda's getting a bit frustrated there. He knows his tires will possibly wear out before the wear out quite a bit, and yes, indeed. And I think we are entering the final laps of the race, where we're going to see the battle between Jin and T. Morrison. Adam and Zelda still battling it out. Adam is able to keep Zelda at bay. JP pits. He had a penalty. I'm not sure why he's pitting. Slavman into P6. Schumacher has taken on a set of soft tires, but he's now down to P8. He was battling with the likes of Petropolis, with Morrison and Jin and so on. I'm not sure if he's made a mistake during his earlier pit stop and accidentally forgotten to refuel the car or something, but I think Schumacher could have been with a shot of getting into the podium places. I think that's a little bit unfortunate there for Schumacher. His strategies has not paid off very well for him. And we have Tetrapolis here, who's... Yeah, I'm pretty surprised you made it lap 15 on the on the mediums. That is very good tire management by you as well. And I think somebody else who does tire management very well, Juho Finn. I don't think Juho Finn's racing tonight. Yeah, we have 14 drivers. We don't have the full grid of 16. But I think Tetro, we might have to consider you amongst those who can manage the tires very well, along with Juho Finn. That was a very good strategy by you. You're up into the lead, and what seems to be a very dominant victory here. Fastest lap as well. And Jin has passed Morrison. I'm just going to rewind here to have a look at the move that Jin has just made on T. Morrison. Jin trying to go for a move inside or outside. What does he opt for? He opts for the inside. And I think it will become the outside there as we go towards the chicane. Gets the car stopped in time, and Jin is up into P2. Morrison's still there, however, he's got the better exit. And Jin will be put under quite a bit of pressure by Morrison. They're going to go side by side through the last corner. Wow, that is fun to watch. Kicking a bit of grass there just to thank the camera, I think. Morrison and Jin battling it out. Go towards turn 1. Are they still going to go side by side? Nope. Jin is going to be ahead for now. Morrison is going to get into the slipstream, and Jin is going to try to break the slipstream as much as he can. He's going to try to find a line and avoid giving Morrison too much of a tow here. Morrison and Jin side by side as we go up the hill towards the braking zone. Are we going to see somebody go for a move on the outside? Just hold it on the inside. Yeah, Jin will hold position down the inside and stays in P2. Morrison putting Jin under a lot of pressure here. Further back, Adam and Zelda. I think that's going to stay the way it is for now. Zelda, I guess he's been able to get close, but he knows that he cannot really push his tires too much here. He needs to get to the checkered flag. This is still a respectable position here for Zelda. I think we're just going to focus on this battle here a little bit. Morrison versus Jin. Morrison on the hards, Jin on the mediums. I think that they did pit on the same lap. Who's it going to be with the upper hand by the end of the 20th and the final lap? Going through this twisty section here, Jin sticks close to the inside. I think that's not been the right call for him there. He's actually lost some time clipping the inside wall as Jin is still in P2. Morrison in P3 is I think just going to want to bide his time, possibly set up a move for the start of lap 19. Let's have a look. This chicane is a very tricky braking zone. They both navigated reasonably well. I think Morrison got it a little bit better than Jin did. He's gained a marginal amount of time on the Genesis driver. Up front though, Tetrapolis blasting off into the sunset, just wanting to bring the car home at this point. I think he knows he has enough of a gap to not worry about those behind him. But look, this is the battle we were promised. Morrison and Jin. Morrison gets past, makes a move down the inside with the into the braking zone, and Jin will now be the one chasing. So I think similar for Adams, handling the pressure pretty well. Jin is trying to go for a move. We saw him make a move on the outside in the sprint. I don't think Morrison will allow it to happen this time around. This is the penultimate lap of the race. Obviously, we will see defenses get more and more aggressive at this stage in the race. Jin will be wanting to regain that position at the earliest available point. His tires may be worn a little bit more than what Morrison's are, but his spirit is undeterred, it seems. Jin carries on, and Morrison I think got a little bit out of shape there as we went through the fast left-hander sections. As we'll go into the braking zone, from what I can see on the mini map at the top right, this seems like the closest battle on track, and it's a battle for the podium places as well. It's I think what we're going to focus on for now. Jin's made a bit of a mistake there. I think he's lost a bit of time to Morrison as a result. Morrison might just be able to pull out a bit of a gap here on the Genesis. Let's have a look for the back. Zelda's picked up a penalty. That's a 2-second penalty. I'm assuming that's for going over the corner just before the twisty section. I think that's the only logical part where you can get a 2-second penalty. Slavman, it's been a quiet race. but he's in a good position. P6 is pretty respectable. All I think he will want is for Schumacher to not be able to catch him before the end of the race. Zelda slows down. Jin and Morrison, the gap has increased a little bit. Tetro rounds the corner to start the final lap of the race. I must admit, I did not expect to see Tetropolis. He's played the strategy cards perfectly here, Tetropolis. That is phenomenal. I think the strategy has really won him the race here today. Adam, I think he just wanted to bring the car home now. No point trying to push the car. Similar goes for Zelda. Slavman will do something similar as well. Schumacher, I think Schumacher would... I mean, I don't know exactly what's happened here, whether he's forgotten to refuel or whether he chose to go for a second pit stop later on, but I think he could have been battling it out with the likes of Adam and Zelda at least, if he had not had to pit again. It's the final lap of the race. Tetro is leading by a comfortable margin here. There's a bit of a gap between Jin and Morrison, which seems to be reducing. I think Morrison's made a little bit of a mistake there. Or maybe Jin's just picked up the pace. Last lap of the race, we are going to see... I know what's happening to Morrison here. He seems to be struggling a lot. All of a sudden, he had a decent gap to Jin, but that seems to be coming down every corner. Morrison is I don't know, Jin's just come alive in the last lap, it seems. Going through the twisty section for one last time. Tetropolis, you can hear there in the distance, just blasting away. I think Jin, he got close, but it's not close enough. Morrison will hang on. I think Jin also made a bit of a mistake there in the twisty section. Zelda, the strategy to put onto the mediums a little bit early did pay off for him. He is in P5. He did get through the field. Slavman, quiet race. I think we'll just focus on the leaders for now, and we'll get to the midfield a little bit later on. I think we just need to take a moment here and take about Tetropolis. What a drive. What a fantastic drive. Played the strategy cards to absolute perfection and wins the feature race. Morrison finishes in P2, and that's his maiden win as well. Well done, Tetropolis. What a way to get your maiden win. Morrison in P2, Jin in P3, Adam in P4. A very smartly driven race, I would say, by Adam. I think he's run out of fuel there. So has Zelda. That's a perfectly executed race for the pair of them. Smart driving. Slavman, quiet race, but good points for the Jag team. The P1 and P6, I think that's the biggest points haul from the race of any team. Schumacher, what could have been for Schumacher? Finishes in P7. JP's race has been up and down. Obviously, that early contact with Morrison offset him, but despite that, it's a good comeback to finish in P8. Revoli, it's also driven a bit of a quiet race, but finishes inside the top 10, finishes in P9. And there you go, the McLaren comes across the line. Whaley and NTO battling it out. NTO, can he get into the top 10 by the... before we get across the line? I think Whaley will hang on to P10. NTO's race has been one to forget for him. And there you go, comes across the line in 11th behind Whaley, who is in 10th. Are we gonna see a battle to the line here? Moncon versus HK. McLovin's a little too far back, but are we gonna see HK battle it out with Moncon? This time around, HK will not take to the grass. Moncon, I think, is gonna hang on to P12. And once they come across the line, that will be the end of what has been a very thrilling weekend, I must say. Hong Kong finishes the race. So does HK in 13th. McLaren is 14th. Rounds of the finishing round of the grid. And there you go. Well, Tetro, I think normality for you might be getting into the podium places pretty frequently. You have shown your strategy has been pretty impeccable today. I think you should be pretty proud of yourself. Congratulations on the maiden win, and I think that is it. There you go. Let's once again. I have forgotten which the next race is. Road Atlanta. There you go. So we shall see you soon for Road Atlanta. Thank you to all the drivers for a phenomenal race. Thank you to all those of you who tuned in, all the drivers who stopped by in the live chat as well. Thank you, and well, thank you. Take care and bye bye.